Welcome back to another episode of Justifying My Poor Financial Decisions by Having a YouTube Channel. Did anybody else go hard as a on the end of year sale at AmericanGirl.com? Because personally, I feel like my collection just blasted into another dimension. And right here is one of the most surprising additions to my doll collection that I think we're gonna see in a long time. And we're gonna unbox her in just a bit, but for now, it's time for another doll collection progress report. I've been doing this every 6 months because I think it's just such a fun way to keep all of my doll friends up to date on the things that I'm still looking for, all the new directions that I'm taking in my doll collection, because let me tell you, we've taken some new directions this year. But all in all, I feel like I've really stayed on track with my original collection goals. I'm getting closer and closer to the perfect collection. So let's just dive in and talk about all of the things I got and all of the things I'm looking for. So I'm going to be relying on notes today because my collection is so vast and there are so many things that I still want. So I have to keep notes to keep track of it all. As you know, I have a really in-depth spreadsheet that I use to keep track of everything that I've purchased, everything that I want to purchase, what I paid for everything, what everything is worth for insurance purposes. It's a lot. It's like a whole different hobby in itself. So I'm going to use my phone to try and stay on track today. And I'm going to try and do this more rapid fire because the last couple of times I did this, it got a little bit rambly and nobody wants to sit and hear a almost 40-year-old man talk about his doll collection and its goals for almost an hour. So if you like hour-long videos, maybe hop over to Patreon and catch me there. How about that? So what I wanted to start with is talking about what I consider to be my core collection, the thing that just really keeps me going. So we're talking 1980s Pleasant Company in particular. So I was a child of the 80s and 90s and I got those catalogs in the mail, I want to say probably somewhere around 1989, 1990, and that's originally when I fell in love with Pleasant Company, which we now know as American Girl. So I have really been trying to put together what I call the perfect childhood collection for myself. And I define that as basically 1986 to 1994 Pleasant Company. And because I'm extra psychotic, I want first edition, mint in box, everything. So what that means is I want Molly, Samantha, Kirsten, Felicity, and Addie, and basically everything that was sold for them before the year like 1995. And just a quick reminder of why I want first editions of everything. That's what's pictured in the catalog. So if you had a catalog in 1990, all of the stuff that you're seeing from like the Christmas collections and all of that, those are all the prototypes that were photographed in 1986. So for me, I just think it adds some more fun to collecting to really try and seek out those extra difficult items to find, and plus it's all the things that I was looking at as a child. So even though a 1991 Molly might look a lot different from a 1986 Molly, I kind of want to get the things that were pictured in the catalog that I was looking at, you know, as closely as possible. So that's why I collect first editions, and like I said, it's just really fun to have rare, hard to find things. So that's kind of how I define my perfect collection. It's first year, everything brand new in box. So when we're talking holy grail dolls, I still don't have my true holy grails, and that would be a 1986 signed Molly, Samantha, and Kirsten from the month September. So we're talking dolls that are numbered in single digits, so numbers 1 through 9, and they're pretty much impossible to find. I understand that I may never find them, and if I do, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So personally, I'm a little bit happy that I haven't been able to find them yet because I know it's just going to, you know, I'm going to have to sell half of my collection to be able to buy one of them. So I'm happy to wait, but again, these dolls cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and you're just not going to get a good deal on them. So those are my holy grails, but for now I do have signed Samantha, Molly, and Kirsten dolls. They're just a little bit higher numbers. So I have Samantha number 230, I have Molly number 726, I believe her number is, and I have Kirsten number 702. So those are really, really low numbers. Samantha is from 1986, which is great. She's from October, which is the second month of production, which is still a really great doll to have. She's actually right here in frame if you want to have a look at her over in the corner. And Molly and Kirsten are still very early dolls, but they're from 1987. So those are really big goals of mine, trying to get 1986 signed dolls. And it's most likely that I'm probably going to try and find Molly and Kirsten from October and November because September is so difficult for them. So as far as their collections go, I'm going to give you a really quick rapid fire of everything I need for Molly, Samantha, and Kirsten from their first edition collections before 1994. So for Molly, I need her undie set and her party treats from her birthday collection, and that's it. Once I get those two pieces, I have everything from Molly before 1994, and most of it is in boxes. So pretty soon, I'm going to probably be doing a full collection tour of Molly, Samantha, and Kirsten because I have just about everything. So I'm getting so close with these girls. So as far as Samantha goes, all I need is her pram, which I'm taking my time finding. The first edition ones come up quite a bit, but again, I have no space. I have so much doll shit in this house, and in order to like start buying more furniture, I really need to get rid of some things. So I'm just taking my time. Unless I find one for like $20 like randomly, I'm probably gonna wait before buying any other furniture pieces. In addition to that, I need her nighttime necessities and her commode. Isn't commode a horrible word? And other than that, all that's left for my Samantha collection is the Ribbons for Samantha set and the original packaging. And again, I'm getting really close to having a complete Samantha collection. As far as Kirsten goes, I've actually made a lot of progress this year. Again, she's probably my third favorite of the original three, so I kind of took my time a little bit with her, so I'm getting really close anyway. So we're looking at Kirsten's school bench set, her 4th of July fun, her house coat, the 1986 version of her bed, which is going to be really hard to find, as well as her washstand, nighttime necessities, and I think that's all I need for Kirsten. So again, very close to a perfect collection. And I had a really hard time finding some of those items for Kirsten's collection, particularly her trunk and her lunch. I managed to find her 1986 trunk, which I've gone into detail on my Patreon about it, but there are a few subtle differences for the 1986 version, which it was driving me crazy not having that version for so long, but I finally found one a couple months ago that I was so excited to add to my display because it's basically the front and center piece of my entire collection. So that was another holy grail that I was able to track down that I was really, really excited about. And her lunch, for some reason, was just so difficult for me to find. And finally, after like basically stalking someone on eBay and sending them message after message, I finally got my hands on a 1986 lunch, and it's in perfect condition. So yeah, Kirsten is coming along nicely. I just have those few other things to finally try and track down. And as far as Addie and Felicity are concerned, I'm still actively looking for their collections, but I'm just really, really trying to take my time because their stuff is more common because it was released years after the launch of Pleasant Company. So even first edition stuff is super easy to find, especially if you don't mind paying market price for it. But I'm at the point now where I have so many doll things in my house and I have so many things on my list that I want to buy. I'm just really trying to take my time and finding things that are basically in perfect condition, but also really, really cheap. So yeah, even though I could go finish their collections really quickly, I'm not really motivated to right now, especially because I think we're going to be moving into a more permanent house a year from now. So I am really trying to keep down the amounts of furniture and large accessories that I'm bringing into the house because I just don't have a space to display them. They're basically going to arrive here, I'm going to check them for damage, and they're just going to go in a closet for a year. So yeah, as far as Felicity and Addie go, I basically have 2 first edition dolls and all of their original outfits from before 1994, and I pretty much have nothing else for them with the rare exception of their Christmas dolls, and I randomly found a super cheap guitar for Felicity that I'm about to get on the way. So yeah, we're just taking our time with Addie and Felicity, even though we love them very much. And the final things missing from what I would consider maybe a complete in-depth Pleasant Company collection from the 80s is I don't have the first edition version of Kirsten that has the light blue eyes. I have the first edition version of Kirsten with sort of the more common medium blue eyes. Collectors call that version of her spooky because she looks a little bit scary because her eyes are so bright. That was another thing that was on my list from a year ago that I still haven't managed to track down. But those dolls typically, I mean, the market has come down, but typically you're going to pay about $3,000 for a spooky Kirsten. And I just really don't like her that much to pay that much money for her. If I find her for a steal, great, I'm going to get one and add her to my collection. But I just don't feel like I absolutely have to have her. So until I find a steal on her, she's probably not going to go in my collection. And same goes for an original 1986 Samantha with the big teeth and the amber eyes. So while that doll was pictured in the catalog, the main Samanthas that you're going to see in the original catalog are the ones with the small chipped teeth. And I have a few of those that I treasured greatly. And one of those is my Samantha number 230. So yeah, I just am not super motivated to pay like over $2,000 for like my 17th Samantha. So if I find one for a great deal, that's awesome. I will add one to my collection, but I'm not actively seeking one out just because I don't consider needing a big tooth amber-eyed Samantha to complete my collection. So that's the update on my original core collection, and I feel like this would be a good time to ask and possibly beg for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I have been doing this for over a year now and I'm having the time of my life. I've gotten to know so many of you in the comments section, and I just feel like I've made so many friends in this community and I want you to join us. I am almost at 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Again, speaking of original goals for the channel, my original goal for this year, which is my first year on YouTube, I just wanted to get to 2,000. I thought that was a really lofty goal and I worked really hard to stay consistent and show up every week to be with you, and here we are at almost 4,000. So I am so grateful and proud and just honestly a little bit humbled to be here standing in front of you saying, we hit double the original goal for 2024. So we are so close to 4,000. So if you haven't joined the channel already, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here for my doll collecting adventures. If you really want to go the extra mile to support my channel, you can join me over at Patreon at patreon.com/idreamofjohnny. Over there, you're going to find my weekly video podcast that I do where I talk about American Girl for an hour every single week. We're going to talk about news, rumors, gossip, drama in the doll community, and there's been so much lately. We are spilling the tea over there. So if you would like to join me for even more doll time, you can find me at patreon.com/idreamofjohnny. It's only $3 a month and it goes such a long way to support my channel so I can continue making videos for YouTube. So I would love to see you there. All right, enough about that. Back to the show. So now I want to talk about the more turbulent part of my American Girl collection, because the longer I've been in this community, the more my collection goals sort of broaden, because I just get so excited about all of the things that get released as new releases, some of the things that I've been able to discover, from like, I don't know, 1999, and I'm like, that's really freaking cool. I want to add that to my collection. So I've definitely been a little bit chaotic in all of this extra stuff that I've been doing. Like, we're talking American Girl of Today, our new baby, and believe it or not, I'm actually really starting to get into the new Truly Me line that's the current line available at American Girl. So a year ago, I was really excited about starting to collect the original American Girl of Today collection, which started in 1995. I wanted to get the original 20 dolls that were released, as well as some like key outfits. It's just so hard when you're a completionist like me. I feel like I get one outfit from a line, then I have to have all of them, even if I don't like the outfits. So it's really challenging doing something like that. And so I started that in the beginning of 2023, and then about 6 months into the year, after I had started collecting Barbie and really just going so deep into Pleasant Company, I was like, I might need to take a break from this because it's getting to be a lot. So in my 6-month update, which was 6 months ago, I actually said, all right, I'm not doing American Girl of Today anymore. It's just too much. I'm going to keep just my key favorite dolls and like 2 outfits, which I did for 3 months. And so here we are again. I have started to build my American Girl of Today collection again. I just can't quit it. I don't know what it is. I think it's the fashions, and it still takes me back to the 90s. I stopped paying attention to dolls in 1994, but there's something about that contemporary collection from 1995 that just gets me every time. Like, I just get teleported back into the 90s, and it just is so alluring. So I have gradually started adding a few more dolls into my collection. Mainly, let's have a look at the list here, because I think I've forgotten a couple of them. Because again, I'm just trying to get good deals on this stuff. Most of them, if I'm getting some of the more common ones, I'm trying to find them for 20 bucks. So, we're not spending a ton of money on it, but it's certainly taking up a lot of space. So I ended up keeping number 4, number 5, and number 18 from my original collection from a year ago. And since then, I've added number 2, Number 6, and we're talking the first version, and not the one with the blonde hair and green eyes. I have the good one. I also have number 10, number 12, and number 15. So as of right now, I'm really not going to be spending a high dollar amount on anything else for the American Girl of Today collection. I would really like to have number 1 and number 11, and then, you know, any others that I think are cute, but I'm just really taking my time because my collection scope has gotten so big that I basically can't afford to buy things at market price. So I'm just crossing my fingers I'm gonna have a really lucky break on eBay to get some of the things that I need still. But yeah, we're doing American Girl today again. We're just pacing ourselves and trying to build it as cheaply as possible. So speaking of American Girl of today, I think that's gonna bring us to Truly Me, which I never thought I would be standing here telling you that I'm buying new Truly Me dolls from American Girl, but they are just so cool, and there's something about the joy of getting a brand new doll that no one has ever owned before you. So it arrives and it smells like a doll should. It doesn't smell like grandma's basement. It doesn't smell like the perfume counter at Macy's. It just is yours and it doesn't smell crazy. I get that I'm like psychotic with stuff like that, but I don't like germs and smells and things like that. So to be able to get a brand new doll that is just clean is such a joy. So when American Girl did that sale like at the end of year, yeah, I went a little bit ham, sue me, but everything just, you know, if you factor in girl math, it was basically free, right? So I have a ton of stuff that I'm going to be unboxing on the channel. We're going to start with one doll today because this video will be like a million hours long and I'll lose half of you, but we have a really exciting doll to show you in just a minute. But yeah, I'm starting to gradually get my hands on the Truly Me collection as it comes up for a super steal. So definitely I've had my eye on Amazon and AmericanGirl.com. So anytime those rewards points go out, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to buy a doll for $20. So this is going to be a little bit of a preview of some of the videos you're going to see coming up. But the Truly Me dolls that I got so far this year are number 75, number 77, and number 104, number 113, as well as 124. So if you're good with numbers, you might know that most of those are boy dolls, and that's because I want to do a complete American Girl boy collection. And I feel like that's sort of like a fun little side hustle to add to the collection because it's not expensive. The boy dolls are not insanely popular and they don't really have rare outfits, and they didn't start making them until a few years ago anyway. So it's something that I can just kind of gradually add and have fun with and just sort of kind of dive into it almost like I'm a kid again and get the things that realistically I would have gotten when I was a child. So I just think it's really fun to get a brand new boy doll and all of these outfits that almost kind of look like some of the things that I might wear, and I just have had like a lot of fun relating to these dolls. It's been really fun. So yeah, I'm basically gonna try and get every boy thing that they ever made because it's just so freaking cute, right? And I also have my eye on 3 girl dolls that I don't have yet, but when they come up for sale, I will probably grab them, and that's number 109, which is the Josefina mold with the deep skin and gray eyes. She will probably be the next Truly Me doll I get because I think she is so cool. And in addition, I would like to get number 110, which is the Jess mold with the rainbow hair. And I kind of also want to get number 118 because I don't have Nea yet, but I think that's also a really cool doll. But yeah, as far as Truly Me goes, that's going to be a very unserious collection. I mean, I might get the ick and sell it all in a few months anyway. So it's really important that I get everything on like a super sale and take care of it because it's very likely that in a few months I will probably start cycling some stuff out so I can enjoy more things. But yeah, if an outfit shows up for $5, you know I'm gonna buy it. All right, and really briefly, I wanted to touch on historicals because again, that was sort of my original thinking as far as like branching out from my original core childhood collection. I thought it might be fun to get one of every single historical doll that is ever made. And again, this is probably going to be really, really slow going because I don't have room to display them. And I really want to keep my original Pleasant Company 80s collection all together and sort of uninterrupted. So, you know, getting things like Mary Ellen, for instance, is really not high on my radar. If I find a brand new one for like 20 bucks, sure, I'll buy it. But if I'm buying that stuff, it's just going to go in storage in a closet. So there's really no point in buying it. But I will give you an update on who I have and who I still need. So I have all of the original first editions of the Pleasant Company dolls: Molly, Samantha, Kirsten, Addie, Felicity, and Josefina. And my Josefina is the first edition. In addition, I have Claudie, Kit, Julie, Nellie, who needs to go to the hospital or maybe just be sold so I can buy a new one. I have the Hoffman twins and Courtney. And I actually have most of Courtney's collection. It's one of my favorite things that American Girl sells right now. So that means I still need Melody, Cecile, Marie Grace, Elizabeth, Caroline, Kaya, Ivy, Mary Ellen, Ruthie, Rebecca, and Nenea. And yes, I also want the Be Forever versions. So yeah, that's sort of in a very distant future. I would like to have those dolls, but I'm not racing to get them anytime soon. And as far as Our New Baby goes, I am still very actively collecting Our New Baby. It's just very difficult to find that stuff. Not a lot of people bought it compared to, you know, like the original Samantha collection. And if you're unfamiliar, Our New Baby is just the precursor to Bitty Baby. So it's basically like before 1995. All of the stuff that they made for Bitty Baby was called Our New Baby, and it was a very small collection, and I just remember it from the catalogs when I was a kid, and I really wanted them. So I've worked on getting like brand new mint versions of all of the baby dolls, and I'm gradually working on their outfits. I have a lot of them, but I'm just waiting to try and find them for like $20 to $30 because sometimes people just want $100 for it, and that's too much money. So that being said, I only collect 1990 to 1992 Our New Baby, and this is what I still need. I need the play dress, party dress, striped overalls, knit dress, diaper bag set, lullaby basket, crib, and the little bunny squeaker. Also, I think it would be fun to have some of the child-size clothing just for fun, but it is super rare. And yes, I did buy the child-size stroller, and yes, it is in my closet, and yes, it is insured as part of my doll collection. All right, and before we get into the unboxing, I'm gonna quickly touch on things that are non-American Girl that I either am collecting or plan to collect. So the big question is Barbie. What is the status of your Barbie collection? So I have to admit, I have really dropped the ball on Barbie, and I blame the movie because while the movie was really good, I am sort of a contrarian, and I really don't like things that like are super popular that everybody's into. It just feels less special to me. I get that that's a problem. I have always been like that, and it's not something I'm proud of, but I just am naturally a person. If I see everybody in the entire world enjoying something, I'm like, that's not cool. I really need to break that habit because it's a stupid way to live. But yeah, the popularity of the Barbie movie kind of gave me the ick a little bit, but also it made vintage Barbie prices go sky high. So like I was not about to pay hundreds of dollars for a doll that like I was able to pick up for like 50 like a few months prior. So I really kind of pumped the brakes on buying Barbie stuff. Just again, I would say mainly because it got so expensive, but I really would like to pick it up again this year because I really do love 80s and 90s Barbie. And I think that's probably mainly what I'm going to focus on is trying to do stuff more from my childhood because I think it makes me happier. And then again, as I just randomly see good deals on like 1960s Barbie, I probably will try and get a 60s collection for Barbie and Ken, but I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of things I want to collect. And the main motivation of my doll collection is experiencing all the things that I wanted when I was a child, you know, getting to experience them for the first time because I was not allowed to have these things. So, you know, 1960s Barbie is awesome and it's so cool and they're so collectible, but do I really have the space and money for all of that? Definitely not right now. So if I dive back into Barbie, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff from the late 80s and early 90s. So yeah, I'm hoping to pick that up again in the next few months, but we'll see what happens. I need to stop buying Truly Me dolls if I'm going to make it happen. So one collection that I do want to start this year while things are still affordable is a late 80s, early 90s Polly Pocket collection. I absolutely loved Polly Pocket when I was a kid, and sneakily I was able to get my hands on a couple of them because my grandmother could buy them for me at Kmart. You know, they were cheap and I could hide them from my parents. So I did manage to get a couple of them and I just loved them so much. There's something about that tiny little world in her little compact, and there's a movie coming out directed by Lena Dunham sometime in the near future, and I know as soon as that happens, Polly Pocket prices are going to go through the roof like they did with Barbie. So I feel like now is a good time to start maybe building, maybe not a completionist collection, but I would really love to have a few key pieces that I remember from when I was a kid and right now they're still fairly affordable, so I probably will start picking them up as I see them for really good deals. So it's time to like add them to my eBay save searches, and so maybe you'll see a Polly Pocket or two on here before long. And as far as Playline dolls go, I still have it as part of my goal list to have a lot of the original dolls from when I was a child that were a lot more accessible, that you could find at, you know, Walmart, Kmart, Roses, things like the Little Miss line, Babysitter's Club dolls, things like that I still really want, but those dolls are really big, and again, I just don't have the space for them. And so I'm hoping that in the next house that we can get a room for me that's basically my 80s and 90s room, which is where I plan to film my channel, and I just want to decorate everything like you're stepping back in time. So that's probably when I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into getting more Playline stuff from the 80s and 90s. I just think it's going to be really cool to basically have a museum of the 80s and 90s in one room in my house. So stay tuned for that. It's not going to happen probably at least in a year, but it's still on my goals list. I just think it's going to be really fun. All right, and to briefly touch on channel goals, I think I mentioned some earlier, but my original goals for 2023 were to get 2,000 subscribers and 100,000 views on the channel. And believe it or not, we're at almost 4,000 subscribers and over 300,000 views. Y'all, that really blows my mind. I really felt like it was going to be a push to try and get to 100,000 for the year, but the channel has exceeded my expectations, and it's all thanks to all of y'all basically enabling me to spend way too much money and go on long rants about dolls. But you're my people, and you understand me, and I'm so glad we found each other. And it's just absolutely blown my mind so far what we've been able to accomplish on this channel. It's really, really cool and very healing, I have to say. And again, I just can't thank you enough for all of the support that y'all have given me over the years. It really does mean the absolute world to me, and it's just mind-blowing that this channel got over 250,000 views in its first year. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I have so many big plans for 2024, including reopening my doll shop, which the last couple of videos I filmed, I thought the shop was actually going to launch before Christmas, but we ended up hitting one logistical snag that is fixed now. So we're just basically dotting our T's and crossing our I's, and things will be available for purchase probably in the next week or so. So you can get some really cool merchandise if you're interested, and it really will help support the channel. And you might be watching this and it might be live now. So be sure to check out idreamofjohnny.com for some really awesome merch. And again, it's a great way to help support me so I can keep making these videos. All right, you made it to the end of the video, so you're gonna get rewarded with a doll unboxing. And unless you're on our Discord server on my Patreon, you have no idea who this is. You're not even gonna guess. And that's because I bought Yvette Peters. So I have loved this doll since she was released. I thought The World by Us was a really cool collection. I loved the message behind it. And again, they just made some really cool dolls with that. So I'm a little bit bummed that it's being discontinued because, you know, I think American Girl has moved on to other missions, but I really wanted to get my hands on one of them before too long. And what better time than the American Girl end of year sale, where this doll was $58 freaking dollars. When I saw that, I knew it was time. So I snapped her up along with way too many other things, but today we're going to open Yvette because I cannot wait to get her out of this hairnet. She's been sitting in my house for a couple of days because I wanted to share the unboxing with all of y'all, and now we can finally do it. So I'm going to give you a quick peek at her in the box, and it does look like I got a good one with no major defects or anything. You know, every once in a while you'll get an American Girl doll with wonky eyelashes or an eye that looks like it's been punched in, but so far, so good. My favorite thing about this doll is her hair, so that's why I have just been jonesing to get her out of here so we can look at her together. So again, she doesn't come with a whole lot. She does have a book, which I will probably read. I think this will be an interesting read. So I'll probably put that on my bookshelf for later. I'm just such a slow reader, and I don't read every single day because it gives me headaches, so I really have to pace myself, but I'm really curious to read her story. I think it'll be interesting. So here we are. We have Yvette in her box. Again, we're still looking good. I think the only roadblock we could hit at this point is a really bad wig, but I have not seen an Yvette with a really bad wig yet, so hopefully I'm not the first. So again, I am such a collector and I'm so picky. Even when I spend nothing on a doll, I still like to be really careful getting them out of the box. So instead of just coming in and hacking at this with scissors, I always like to try and poke the little like pointy ends of these tags like through the hole, so I could theoretically put her back in the box if I wanted to, even though you know I'm not going to. But yeah, let me poke these through real quick and I'll be right back. It is so nice having a table now. I'm doing this so much faster than I used to. I used to break a sweat trying to do this, holding this in the air and trying not to drop things. It was wild. You know, a wild and crazy Jonathan trying to open his dolls. Do they really need to add this many straps on these boxes? This takes so long. Remember the olden days when it was just like 2 rubber bands and a lick? All right, we got our limbs loose, but I think there's something so satisfying about like releasing their neck strap. I don't know. I think it just is very freeing feeling. It's like, ah, she can breathe now. All right, is she gonna come out? Girl, you gotta come out. Hello? All right, we have Yvette Peters freed from her box, and her limbs seem pretty tight, which is great, which again, not a big deal for me. I got such a steal on her. I mean, even if she was missing an arm, I probably wouldn't care, but here we go. Yeah, let's get the rest of this packaging off of her so we can get the hairnet off finally. All right, here she is. All right, people, pay attention. If you're not looking at the screen because you're doing homework or sewing or whatever it is you do while you're watching my videos, her hairnet is about to come off, so here we go. I am not good at this. All right, how did we do? Yes, we have a gorgeous, gorgeous doll. Okay, you never know if you're going to take the hairnet off and then just her entire wig collapses on the table, but her wig looks really great. I think we have a lot of really even curls, and I would say the quality, again, I feel like American Girl is doing a really good job with their wigs lately. I know there were maybe some issues with shedding a few years ago, but I have to say, like, very little shedding. I know her hair is curled, so she probably won't shed as much as some of the other dolls that maybe have straighter hair, but there's like almost no hair on this table right now. So again, this is a really great quality wig, and I feel like this is one of the like shining features about Yvette is this just gorgeous full curly wig. I am so glad I got her. I have to say her meet outfit probably isn't my favorite, and it's mainly just because I don't like this style of clothes, and I particularly don't like orange unless it's mixed with like pink or something, but it's very well designed. This belt is really cool. I think it'll come off so I can use it as a separate piece. But the outfit actually does look better in person, I have to say. I thought this was much more of a rusty orange based on the pictures I've seen, but it's a really bright orange, so it's really not too bad. But yeah, I definitely can't wait to try different outfits with her because I think she is just such a cool, super pretty doll. I mean, hello. I have a feeling that this doll was really, really, really popular when she first came out because I was a little bit surprised that Maritza was the first one to sell out because based on what I had seen just through Instagram and YouTube, I feel like if anybody was gonna buy a World by Us doll, Yvette seemed to be the most popular one, followed by McKenna. So it was interesting to me that McKenna and Yvette were still available where Maritza sold out first, but I think probably what happened is these dolls sold really, really well when they were released, and then American Girl probably just overproduced them. So, I mean, I would assume they've made tens of thousands of this doll, and they probably just, you know, I guess people sort of lost interest in them, you know, a year or so later, but I am really happy that I was able to take advantage of this sale because this doll was worth every penny because I didn't pay that many pennies for her. But yeah, I'll just show you here. I mean, I absolutely love this hair. I hope that they're able to bring this wig back with a Truly Me doll. I mean, there's a rumor that we're getting new Truly Me dolls this month or, you know, possibly soon. And I really hope we get some interesting hair. And I think this would be a great wig to bring back because it just is so voluminous. I love the color of it, and just, I mean, the best I can say is this doll is a serve. Again, I know it's a really odd addition to my collection, but I just cannot get over what a pretty doll this is, and I think she'll look good alongside the Truly Me girls. I think that's going to be a great space for her in my collection. I love these boots. Even as much as I don't really like her dress, these boots are sickening, and I actually tried to buy a pair when the doll was released because I wasn't planning on getting any of the, you know, new Truly Me or World by Us dolls. Despite loving them, I just, again, had other goals in my collection, but I just always really loved these floral boots. They're so cool. They just look like some of those like fancy Doc Martens that you could get in the 90s that nobody could afford, but everybody wanted. So she'll probably be staying in these boots, and I gotta say, I cannot wait to start playing around with her hair and figuring out some cool styles. I've seen some really cool things with this doll as far as hairstyles go, but I have to say, this like really full voluminous look, I cannot get over what an awesome lion's mane this doll has. This is, I have to say, probably one of the most beautiful wigs I have seen on an American Girl doll, especially recently. It's just, I can't say enough good things about Yvette. The sale is running until the end of January. They raised her price by $7, so she's $65 right now. But again, you'll get free shipping if you get your order up to $150. But I have to say, yeah, this doll is worth $65. If you've been thinking about getting her, I'm going to give her my seal of approval. I think she's stunning. She has a lot of my favorite features too. Josefina's sculpt, which is one of my absolute favorites, and gray eyes, also one of my absolute favorites. So it's kind of a crime that I didn't get her until now, but my reward was getting to pay almost nothing for her. So this is my new Yvette Peters doll that I am so incredibly happy to add to my collection. She has exceeded my expectations, and I really can't wait to try some outfits on her and just see like how she fits into my collection, because I really truly adore her. All right, I'm about out of battery, so that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and unboxing Yvette. I would love to know what your goals for 2024 are in regards to your doll collection, or maybe even some personal goals if you want to share that with me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button, because all of those things help out my channel. And if you really want to help out my channel, be sure to head over to patreon.com/idreamofjohnny, where you can find a ton more doll content. If you want to keep hanging out on YouTube, you can watch this video right here that YouTube thinks you'll like. And until next time, please take care of yourself, and I will see you real soon. Bye for now.